Hello and a very warm welcome. You are watching Gravitas with me, Molly Gambhir. Let's get started. Our top story tonight, the Russian president has ordered his top officials to draft proposals on possible nuclear weapons testing. And this comes after Donald Trump, remember, had said that America would resume such tests. We also tell you how Vladimir Putin is challenging America with new nuclear super weapons. Decoding all of this for you and more in just a bit. Also on the show for you tonight, telling you all about Zoran Mamdani's historic victory. Also what the latest election results in the US mean ahead of the 2026 midterm elections. Getting you a detailed report on how Iceland is looking to militarize and why that is such a big deal. All this and more coming up. In updates that came just a short while back, Russia may be taking the first steps towards resuming nuclear tests. Just days after US President Donald Trump said America could do the same, the Russian president has ordered top officials reportedly to draft proposals on possible nuclear weapons testing, saying Russia has always abided by international agreements. But if the US or any other nuclear power breaks that rule, Russia would follow suit. In fact, Putin has also instructed the Foreign Ministry, Defense Ministry, Security Services, other civil agencies of Russia to gather information, analyze it at the Security Council, and present proposals for starting preparations at Russia's Novaya Zemlya Arctic test site, which would host nuclear tests at short notice, could host nuclear tests at short notice.
Trump recently literally declared that the U.S. is resuming nuclear weapons testing. Members of Parliament are asking questions and are generally concerned about the situation because it's clear where this could lead the world as a whole. Therefore, based on what you said 2 years ago, if the U.S. resumes nuclear weapons testing, Russia has every right to do the same.
Yes, indeed. This is a serious matter. Let's listen to our colleagues. The floor goes to the Minister of Defense.
These actions clearly demonstrate Washington's active buildup of strategic offensive weapons. First, the White House has consistently withdrawn from the long-standing series of arms reduction treaties.
Remember, Russia last tested a nuclear weapon in 1990. The United States last tested in 1992, China and France in 1996, India in 1998. But post-Soviet Russia, inheriting the Soviet arsenal, has never tested nuclear weapons. Just a day ago, Putin signaled ushering in of a new age of nuclear super weapons. Weapons designed to dominate the 21st century and to ensure strategic parity with the US and its allies. Speaking at a ceremony honoring the engineers and developers behind these weapons, Putin had said Russia is not threatening anyone, framing these advances as part of the global nuclear balance and not aggression. What are these weapons in question, really? Burevestnik, a nuclear-powered cruise missile with virtually unlimited range, and Poseidon, a nuclear-powered underwater drone capable of massive destruction, with some reports claiming it can trigger a radioactive tsunami. Putin also revealed next-generation projects, including a supersonic missile using Burevestnik's nuclear engine.
Которого вы добились, имеет без преувеличения
The result you have achieved is without exaggeration of historic significance for our nation, ensuring security and strategic parity for decades to come. One could confidently say for the entire 21st century.
Наша страна никому не угрожает. Россия, как и все другие,
Our country poses no threat to anyone. Like all other nuclear powers, Russia is developing its nuclear and strategic capabilities. Everything we are discussing now is part of long-announced plans. All our objectives for creating advanced weapon systems, developing the defense systems, and equipping the Russian army and navy with modern hardware and weaponry are being fulfilled.
армии и флота России с современной техникой и вооружениями выполняются.
Let's just take a look at the super weapons that Putin is talking about. Just last week, the testing of the Burevestnik nuclear-powered missile was announced. It is said to have demonstrated an unmatched range. Russian media called it an unlimited range cruise missile. It is reportedly based on breakthroughs in nuclear reactor technology that allow a high degree of miniaturization and quick attainment of operational power. Putin has praised the engineers behind the achievement. During a meeting with injured Russian soldiers at a military hospital, Putin said that the Burevestnik's reactor is comparable in output with the reactor of a nuclear-propelled submarine, but it's 1,000 times smaller. During its test, the Burevestnik missile, according to the Russian military, traveled more than 14,000 kilometers and remained airborne for about 15 hours. While announcing more details about the Burevestnik yesterday, Putin also exposed the NATO in a way for spying on the Russian test of the missile, claiming that the foreign military experts had the opportunity to observe and verify the capabilities of the Russian super missile. Let them take a look, quote unquote, is what he said. Listen to this.
По дальности полета «Буревестник», как известно, превзошел все известные в мире ракетные системы.
In terms of flight range, the Burevestnik, as is known, surpassed all known missile systems. It has high target accuracy, which it confidently achieves at a pre-calculated time. I think foreign specialists were able to verify this as well, since a NATO ship was constantly present in the area and during the testing of the Burevestnik on October 21. We did not interfere with its work. Let them watch.
Разведывательный корабль. Мы не мешали его работе.
The Burevestnik gives Russia unmatched global strike capabilities. But it's not the only Russian super weapon. Shortly after the testing of Burevestnik, the test of another new weapon, the Poseidon, was announced. The Poseidon system has been described as an advanced nuclear torpedo that is understood to use the same technology as the Burevestnik for propulsion. And he added that the Poseidon's reactor is miniaturized to a lesser degree than the Burevestnik's, being roughly 100 times smaller than a regular submarine reactor. And according to the state news agency, the Poseidon can operate at depths of more than 1 kilometer and travel at speeds of up to 70 knots while remaining undetectable. First tested in 2018, it's capable of carrying a nuclear warhead of up to 2 megatons. Following the military operations in Ukraine, Russian commentators have consistently issued threats against the West, claiming that the Poseidon torpedoes can cause radioactive tsunamis reaching heights of up to 1,000 feet. While military experts dismiss these claims, they say that the Poseidon torpedoes could potentially devastate the coastal cities of enemy nations. Once released from the submarine, the Poseidon torpedo operates like a drone, basically, allowing it to be remotely guided to its targets.
Наконец, у России появляются и крылатые ракеты неограниченной дальности.
Russia is now finally getting both the Burevestnik cruise missile with unlimited range and the Poseidon unnamed underwater vehicle with nuclear power units. All our plans are being fulfilled thanks to people like you and your colleagues.
Таким людям, как вы, вашим коллегам.
Early this month, Russia also launched a new nuclear submarine designed specifically to carry Poseidon drones. And if you thought that was it, there was more. Russia's next-generation projects are already underway, including a supersonic missile using Burevestnik's nuclear engine technology. And with these developments and the possibility of resumed nuclear tests, Putin is basically sending out a loud and clear message to the world. Russia's superweapons are not just for showing, they are ready for a new age of arms race. Let's now shift our focus to the United States. The Democrats there have trounced U.S. President Donald Trump's Republican Party in key state and local races, with the Democrats perhaps entering 2026 with as much momentum as they could have hoped for. Heading into the midterm scheduled in November next year, Democrats won the Virginia and New Jersey's governor's office, and most importantly, in a major rebuke of Trump's second term so far and a major boost for the party, won the New York City mayoral election. Zohran Mamdani defeated former Governor Andrew Cuomo to be elected as the 111th mayor of America's largest city, his win marking a historic moment. He is New York's first Muslim mayor. Trump, remember, had threatened to punish New York by withholding federal funding if the city voted for Mamdani, and the 34-year-old has now directly challenged the U.S. president.
So, Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up. We will hold bad landlords to account because the Donald Trumps of our city have grown far too comfortable taking advantage of their tenants. We will put an end to the culture of corruption that has allowed billionaires like Trump to evade taxation and exploit tax breaks.
And despite Trump's warnings, his political intimidation, in a way, failed to sway the voters. Democrats walked away with a string of victories in several parts of America's eastern coast that experts say could redefine the political map. Because the elections were widely viewed as a referendum, in a way, on Trump's presidency, and a preview, perhaps, of what's to come in 2026. In a post on social media, Trump tried to downplay the losses, blaming pollsters, the ongoing government shutdown, and his absence from the ballot for the defeats. Later, while speaking to the Republican senators at a White House breakfast on the one-year anniversary of his victory, Trump reiterated the same.
If you read the pollsters, the shutdown was a big factor, negative for the Republicans, and that was a big factor. And they say that I wasn't on the ballot was the biggest factor. But I don't know about that, but I was honored that they said that.
In a post on social media, the White House also reminded that Donald Trump remains president of the United States even as America endures the longest government shutdown in history. Wednesday marked day 36, surpassing the record set during Trump's first term in 2018. A new CNN poll underscoring the challenge facing Trump. Democrats now lead the Republicans by 5 points across America, 47 to 42%, just to be precise, just a year before the midterms. And the poll also found that Trump's approval rating has fallen to 37%, the lowest of his second term, and matching his worst numbers from his first. Now that we've laid out that context, and as the Democrats celebrate perhaps their strongest showing since Trump's return to power, their minds are likely to be fixated on reclaiming the U.S. Congress in 2026. Shifting focus now, smiling broadly, dressed in military fatigues, young Iraqi Mohammad Imad posted his last TikTok video from a field scarred with tank tracks, smoke rising behind him. "Pray for me" is what the caption read, next to a Russian flag. This was in the month of May. Since then, nothing, only rumors. Had he been killed by a drone strike in Ukraine? Had he been taken hostage? Was he injured? Was he sick? This is the story of 24-year-old Mohammad. He is not alone. A recent investigative report by news agency AFP narrating the story of several Iraqi men who have joined Russia's war only to die fighting for the country that is not even their own, reportedly, in a war that has nothing to do with them. Like many Iraqis fighting for Russia, Mohammad had traveled to Moscow without his family's knowledge to enlist. Money, a Russian passport, promises, irresistible. Now his mother is waiting for the return of her son.
I just want to know whether he's dead or alive. Some say he's dead, others deny it. Some claim he's a prisoner, others say he is missing. I have no idea what the truth really is.
Mercenaries for hire, like Mohammad, grew up in the shadow of Iraq's bloody recent history. The US invasion, the sectarian violence, the brief but brutal ISIS caliphate. Young men in Iraq have long been pulled into war, whether it was for the Iraqi military or for the Shiite militias or even Syria's civil war for that matter. And now, with 1 in 3 young Iraqis unemployed and the country riddled with corruption, many are being lured to fight for Russia by TikTok and Telegram influencers reportedly, promising a life-changing package. The numbers, $2,800 a month. That's 4 times Iraq's military pay reportedly. Up to $20,000 sign-up bonuses. A Russian passport, insurance, pension, compensation in case of injury.
Hunger is killing us Iraqis. We have nothing to do with Russia. We have already been through so many wars. Many young Iraqis are now going to Russia lured by promises of money and women. They are told just come here.
And the thing is, Mohammad's family believes social media lured him to Russia. He posted videos geotagged near Ukraine, though his family thought he was in Basra. May 12, that was when he posted his last TikTok selfie. His mother called him, begged him to come home. He replied he was going to war and asked her to pray. She has not heard from him since.
He can't come back. He told me I'll die whether in Iraq or Russia. It is the same thing. It is death whether it's here or there. I want them to bring me back my son. I don't want anything else. Not money, nothing. Even if he's dead, I want them to send me my son.
According to the AFP report, social media apps like TikTok and Telegram are full of people offering help to Iraqis to join Russia's ranks in the war in Ukraine. In fact, early in the war, Russian President said he wanted to recruit 16,000 fighters from West Asia, with around 2,000 regular Syrian troops later reportedly sent to Russia. The Telegram channels sharing the tempting deals are now reportedly targeting a different and younger demographic. Their administrators offer assistance to other potential Arab recruits reportedly from Syria, Egypt, Algeria. Similar methods have reportedly been used by Russia to recruit young men from Central Asia, Bangladesh, Nepal. They even provide a list of important military terms to learn in Russian, including ammunition is depleted, mission accomplished, we have casualties, suicide drone attack, so on and so forth. Terms like these. In fact, what has also emerged, Baghdad has been at pains to remain neutral in a way in the Ukraine war and does not welcome its young men going to fight for Russia. In fact, in September, a court in the south of the country jailed a man for life for human trafficking, accusing him of sending people to fight in foreign countries. The same month, Iraq's embassy in Moscow warned of attempts to lure or coerce some Iraqis residing in Russia or abroad into joining the war under various pretexts, quote unquote. In fact, the word mercenary is a particularly pejorative word in Arabic. Some families feel shamed, facing disapproval or secret burials when a son dies abroad, reportedly. One relative has said, I'm quoting, "It's heartbreaking. A boy died abroad and was buried in secret," quote unquote. Moving on for now, one of the world's most peaceful nations, Iceland, is reportedly considering building up its defenses in a rather significant manner for the first time since the 19th century. Iceland disbanded its last standing army way back in 1869 and has never fought a war since the 1500s. Despite being a founding member of NATO, Iceland has contributed only through civilian roles and by hosting allied forces. Just for context, for 17 straight years, it has topped the Global Peace Index as the world's most peaceful nation, the most peaceful country. But that image may be changing, and that too quickly. With the Arctic melting faster than ever, Russian and Chinese naval activity has surged in the region. Russian submarines are increasing their presence in the North Atlantic, and Iceland's position right between Europe and North America, as you can see, appears to be becoming increasingly strategic. Sensing growing threats, Iceland's foreign ministry has started drafting the country's first formal national defense strategy, reportedly. In fact, a parliamentary committee recently warned that Iceland's isolation no longer guarantees safety. It pointed to the country's dependence on undersea internet cables that could be sabotaged in conflict, as well as the strategic Greenland-Iceland-UK gap, a key route for Russia's northern fleet to access the Atlantic, as the primary reasons. Now, Iceland's former military representative to NATO has also recently called on the government for creating an army as well as specialized units like a drone defense unit to protect Iceland from new threats. NATO allies have also turned their attention to this issue. Germany's defense minister visited the area recently and signed a joint agreement with Iceland to boost military planning and procurement, while Iceland's prime minister has said the US president assured her of Washington's awareness of Iceland's defense concerns, highlighting the importance of the Arctic in US security. That's not all. Recent drone disruptions over Copenhagen airport, Iceland's main European gateway, have reportedly alarmed the public. And amid all of this, a campaign group called Guardians of Iceland is now urging the government to raise a small but agile defense force of about 2,000 soldiers to protect critical infrastructure. And the group also wants military training for up to 40,000 citizens, roughly a tenth of Iceland's population, to form a reserve force in times of crisis. Once a symbol of perfect peace, Iceland now faces that big question. Can its neutrality, in a way, survive in an increasingly militarized Arctic? And before we go on any further, a quick look at what else is lined up for you on the show tonight. In Paris, a rather unique initiative. People are getting a chance to get buried next to celebrities. We tell you more. Is it possible for a black hole to be brighter than 10 trillion suns? We are getting you more on this. You don't want to miss this. On to the battleground in Bihar in India. It's only heating up. The stage is set for the crucial first phase of the Bihar Assembly elections, the fourth largest assembly in India. The ruling NDA will be squaring off against the opposition in 121 constituencies on Thursday. The high-stakes contest featuring familiar heavyweights, Mahagathbandhan's chief ministerial face, Tejasvi Yadav, NDA's second-in-command Samrat Chaudhary, Lalu Prasad's elder son, Tej Pratap Yadav, now estranged from the family and party and contesting under his new political banner. Officials from 7 countries, including France, South Africa, Belgium, are set to witness polling in Bihar, in fact, as a part of the Election Commission's International Election Visitors Program. At least 14 participants from the Philippines, Thailand, Colombia, other countries attended the inaugural session of this program. It is a flagship program of the Election Commission for international cooperation and engagement with the election bodies of other countries. The central themes of this crucial electoral battle are as pressing as they are complex. Unemployment, corruption, the decline of education, healthcare dominating the discourse. Tejasvi Yadav's pledge of one government job for every household, translating to a staggering 1.3 crore jobs over 5 years, strikes a chord. And this is in contrast to the NDA manifesto, which promises 1 crore government jobs and aims to create 1 crore women earning at least over $1,000. And according to a report by the Association for Democratic Reforms, Kaushal Pratap Singh, contesting Loria, is the richest candidate in the second phase of the Bihar election, declaring assets worth over 360 crore rupees. Shifting focus, a Chinese smartphone has been elevated from just being a consumer gadget to a diplomatic gift, one that perhaps symbolizes Beijing's growing confidence in its tech sector. In a recent bilateral meeting between the Chinese President Xi Jinping and the South Korean President, the two leaders exchanged several gifts, but one item stood out. The Chinese President presented a pair of Xiaomi smartphones to his counterpart, and the choice of that device as an official state gift marks a clear shift in Beijing's strategy in a way. China now sees its homegrown technology as worthy of representing the country's prestige on the world stage in such a manner. For years now, Chinese brands fought global skepticism about quality and innovation-related questions, but this gesture signals that Beijing now believes its technology belongs in the top tier of premium devices, right alongside other major brands. Market reactions have already reflected that sentiment, in fact. Xiaomi stock jumped over 3% in Hong Kong as investors recognized the message behind this move. Experts saying Beijing wanted this signal to be noticed both by domestic audiences, also by global competitors. Now, this development also coming in as Xiaomi expands beyond smartphones, venturing into premium electric vehicles and high-end consumer electronics. The brand is no longer just selling products. It appears to be carrying China's ambition for global tech dominance. And this is not the first time a Chinese phone has made diplomatic headlines. Just last month, the Venezuelan president praised a Huawei smartphone reportedly gifted by Xi Jinping, calling it the best phone in the world, claiming that US spies cannot hack it. From consumer electronics to instruments of diplomacy, China's tech is now being used to shape global perception, one smartphone at a time. Amid reports of surging settler violence in the West Bank, foreign volunteers have joined Palestinian farmers to help harvest olives, considered a vital part of the Palestinian livelihood and culture. Take a look. It came from another star, glowing, shifting, and now silent. NASA has the images, but the agency is silent for now. As that mysterious object changes color again, the mystery is only deepening, and the world is starting to ask, was it sent by someone? Our next report getting you some details.
It came from beyond the stars, a lone traveler drifting through the frozen black of the interstellar space. 3I Atlas, the third known visitor from another solar system, but unlike anything before it, this one behaves as if it has a mind of its own. First detected in late 2025, it moved too fast, too bright, too deliberate. At first, scientists called it a comet, a natural wanderer made of rock and ice, but then it began to change. From icy blue to emerald green, then to a faint reddish pulse. Not once, but 3 separate times. Each color shift happened suddenly and without any thermal reason. Astronomers say no known comet in history has behaved this way.
But this one, 3I Atlas, is really interesting. It's what's called an interstellar comet. That means it actually came to our solar system from another star system. So this comet was not born around the sun. It was born elsewhere. It's been drifting through space on its own, and it just randomly encountered the solar system. And so it's on what's called a hyperbolic orbit. It's going to pass, it already passed by the sun, and then it's just going to keep going, never to come back again, heading back out into interstellar space.
NASA's telescopes locked on. The Hubble Space Telescope, the James Webb, even radar arrays from the Deep Space Network captured data. Then silence. For weeks now, NASA has refused to release the high-resolution images of 3I Atlas. No press statements, no data, as the US government shut down paralyzed key agencies. NASA's silence over the mysterious interstellar visitor 3I Atlas sparks confusion, suspicion, and online theories that the agency was hiding something extraordinary. 3I Atlas continues to defy explanation. Its surface glows in strange wavelengths. It bends sunlight in ways that mimic energy reflection, as if it's coated with engineered material, and now as it drifts away slowly from our sight, its signature grows weaker and colder. Was it a natural comet born in some distant, dying star system? A broken probe from another civilization still sending signals into the dark, or something more? A silent observer passing through, watching us. NASA knows the facts. Somewhere in its data vaults, those unreleased images sit unseen, unexplained, unanswered, and out there in the dark between worlds, 3i Atlas keeps moving, silent, shifting, alive with secrets. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Our next story is about a unique kind of a lottery. Now, let's just warn you here, this story is kind of morbid. Well, because it's to do with death. And here's a morbid question to start with. Would you like to be buried next to someone famous? What if you could have a burial spot among some of the biggest artists, the likes of legends like Jim Morrison? The reason why we're asking you these questions about death and burial is that this option has been made available to Parisians through a lottery. Basically, the launch of this lottery comes with the aim of restoring funerary monuments within some overcrowded cemeteries. The Paris Council is basically offering citizens a chance or the privilege of being buried alongside celebrities. How exactly? A number of gravestones in need of repair at each cemetery are being offered for a sum, on the condition that purchasers restore them and acquire a burial plot beside them. The hope is that this will help in restoring monuments within the famous burial grounds. There are a set of conditions, of course. Now, this is a unique move, to say the least. According to the Paris Council, the scheme presents a compromise between respecting the dead and giving the residents a chance to be buried within the city. And what explains that? According to the Paris Council, there are very few burial plots currently available at cemeteries within the city limits, with cemeteries mostly full since the start of the 20th century. The draw will reportedly be held in January. If you are eligible, this could be your chance to be buried next to a celebrity. The victorious Indian Women's World Cup team met the Indian Prime Minister at his residence today. Prime Minister Modi congratulated the women in blue and hailed their historic achievement. The world champions, led by the captain Harmanpreet Kaur and the head coach, arrived at the Prime Minister's residence amid a lot of cheering and smiles. Prime Minister Modi welcomed the team and congratulated them for bringing immense pride to the nation. The Prime Minister and the players had a lengthy interaction. The Prime Minister praised the team's resilience and their remarkable comeback after three consecutive defeats earlier in the tournament. He also acknowledged the criticism that they faced on social media and lauded their determination to rise stronger. A new dawn has started for women's cricket in India, a glorious sunrise after years of waiting in the shadows in a way. After India were crowned world champions for the first time on Sunday, the women in blue defeated South Africa by 52 runs in the ICC Women's ODI World Cup final, a triumph that heralds a bright new era. The entire country united in jubilation, and plaudits have been coming in from the entire world. The world's ice fortress is breaking. A sudden seismic shift in the Antarctic has started, silent but devastating. The unthinkable now hanging on the tide, a catastrophe that could redefine every part of our planet.
Antarctica holds 70% of Earth's fresh water. trapped in ancient ice, enough to drown every city on the planet. Its glaciers are silent giants. Now those giants are cracking. One of its fastest shrinking glaciers, Hectoria Glacier, is collapsing at a pace that has scientists alarmed. Hectoria retreated by 8.2 kilometers. That would be nearly 10 times faster than any grounded glacier recorded before. Its ice front is retreating faster than any model predicted, pouring billions of tons of melt water into the Southern Ocean.
Of course, the Antarctic ice sheet is worrying because if it collapses, then the sea level rise would be much higher, and the impacts of a much higher sea level rise up to 1.5 or more meters would be extreme, because there are so many people living in low-lying coastal areas that it would have a major impact on cities, on coastal cities, on coastal infrastructures in general.
Researchers warn this could mark the beginning of a self-reinforcing collapse. Warm ocean currents are tunneling beneath the ice shelves, eroding them from below, while surface melting cracks them from above. Once gone, they cannot grow back in human timescales.
Why is West Antarctica so important is because it contains enough ice to raise sea levels by 4, 5, even up to 6 meters. So it's very important to understand what happened to West Antarctica, because if Antarctica collapses the next time the Earth is at +3 degrees, it will be hundreds of millions of people which will have to be displaced.
The fear is simple. If Hectoria Glacier goes, others may follow. Together with nearby glaciers like Thwaites and Pine Island, it acts as a cork in the bottle, holding back the West Antarctic ice sheet. At the same time, the United Nations Climate Report warns the planet is now very likely to exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius of warming within the next decade. The critical threshold scientists have fought to avoid. That warming accelerates melt rates exponentially. The Antarctic meltdown is no longer a slow-motion disaster, it's speeding up. And if the ice keeps falling into the sea, no nation will stay untouched. The countdown to rising seas has already begun. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
In the silent depths of the cosmos, something unimaginable has awakened. An ancient monster, invisible yet all-powerful, has just released a cosmic scream brighter than 10 trillion suns. Astronomers are calling it the most violent light show ever recorded in the universe. Our next story explaining this to you.
It began as a faint flicker on telescopes. A pinprick of light deep in a galaxy 11 billion light-years away. For days, scientists thought it was an error, a sensor glitch, or a dying star's last gasp. But then the light grew brighter, hotter, wilder. Soon, the cosmos itself seemed to pulse with energy. What they were witnessing wasn't a supernova, it was a black hole feeding, devouring an unlucky star that wandered too close. In a process known as tidal disruption, the star was ripped apart, atom by atom. its remains spiraling into the black hole's event horizon, the point of no return. Captured first in 2018 by California's Palomar Observatory, which is operated by Caltech, it was analyzed over years. This flare grew to be 30 times brighter than any previously recorded black hole event. It briefly outshone the entire galaxy it inhabits, radiating an extraordinary burst of light and energy that stretches our understanding of cosmic extremes. As we watch this cosmic drama unfold across unimaginable distances, it reminds us of the sheer scale and power lurking in the universe's darkest corners, where stars live and die in the shadow of black holes. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
And finally, tonight is the night. The biggest full moon of the year, the so-called Supermoon, will be rising at 10:30 p.m. GMT, which is about 4 a.m. in India. The moon will be reaching its closest point to the Earth this year. What exactly is a supermoon and how often does it really come around, and what can you expect tonight? Our next report getting you the answers.
The moon has always fascinated us. It has inspired poets and painters, guided sailors and pirates, and vexed astronomers and mathematicians. And tonight, November 5th, the moon will be shining brighter than usual, because tonight is the night of the supermoon. Or, in technical terms, the perigee syzygy. Perigee is basically when the moon is closest to the Earth. You see, the moon doesn't orbit the Earth in a perfect circle. Instead, its orbit is elliptical. So, the moon keeps closing into and then moving further away from the Earth as it goes about its orbit. When the moon is at its closest to Earth, it's just about 363,300 kilometers, as it will be tonight. This closeness will combine with it being a full moon night. That's why it'll be a supermoon. And how will the supermoon affect us down here on Earth? Well, to start off, it will give us a lovely view. The moon being so close on a full moon night means that it's about 14% brighter than average. It's actually 30% brighter than on a new moon night. So the moon will dazzle in the sky tonight. But romantic visuals aside, the moon will also have a tangible impact on the tides. The moon is the reason we have ocean tides. The moon's gravity effectively pulls the sea levels up, giving us high tide. So, when it's a supermoon, when the moon is at its closest point to Earth, we also have higher tides than usual. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Celebrities have often turned heads with their fashion choices, but this time, children's educator and YouTuber Rachel Akorsho has made a powerful statement with her outfit choice for Glamour's Women of the Year Awards. Popularly known as Miss Rachel, the YouTube star enjoys a following of 17 million subscribers on the video platform, one of children's most favorite educators. She arrived at New York's Plaza Hotel in a gown embroidered with artwork created by children from Gaza. The upcycled gown featuring illustrations reportedly drawn by children in Gaza. And according to reports, she requested the children to create drawings that reflected their stories. The artworks were then embroidered onto a black gown with a cream overlay on top. Notably, each illustration was accompanied by the artist's name stitched in Arabic. And the YouTuber also carried the portraits of each child along the artwork. The artwork featured a mix of stories, like a little girl named Luna painted a portrait of herself hugging a slice of watermelon with a heart on top. Another child showcased a boat featuring colors of the Palestinian flag. A moving portrait featured a drawing of a small boy who carried the weight of his entire house and belongings on his shoulders. Other drawings featured symbols of peace, hope, resilience. For those unaware, she started her YouTube journey for a personal reason. She wanted to help her son manage his speech delay and started to post videos of herself. But over the years, she started to upload research-based videos to help little ones and eventually began to use her public presence to advocate for vulnerable children around the world. London rolled out the blue carpet for the premiere of the psychological thriller Malice, starring Jack Whitehall and others, turning heads as they unveiled the dark new series. Our next report telling you more.
Different from every other role that I've done, and in the past I've mainly played quite like sympathetic characters and characters that sometimes sort of like elaborated or heightened versions of myself, but with this there was a lot less connective tissue to the real me.
The idea for Malice came about because myself and my producing friends Tim and Imogen sort of weirdly realised that we knew 3 different families who'd had a Manny recently, and this person had really changed the dynamic in their family home in a slightly strange way. And the 3 of us thought, what a great opportunity to sort of revisit the scary nanny thriller and genre, but put a man at the heart of it.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Gravitas Tonight. This is me, Molly Gambhir, signing off. And as we say goodbye, getting you the special report on the celebrations in India. Thanks for watching.
Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. To some, it's an extreme ideology. To others, it's the very soul of India. To some, it's rebellion. To others, it's a principle of nation building. Coming soon to challenge perceptions in RSS centenary year, Kesariya at 100.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION World is One.
India's Global Voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION. World is One. From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
Where darkness hides behind every corner.